So I wasn't planning on making this video, but just 3 days after Bilt announced their huge revamp to their Bilt 2.0 program, which is probably something that they've been working on for over a year to try to get right, they're already making changes before the credit card is even in consumers' hands. Let's talk about it. So first off, to contextualize everything, why was the first version of Bilt so good? It was one of those rare cards that was a zero annual fee card. It was a set it and forget it, and it gave you great perks and benefits, with the biggest one being that you were able to earn points for your rent payments without having to pay that transaction fee, and those Bilt points got more and more valuable as the months and years went on, with an amazing set of transfer partners. So again, the Bilt 1.0 program or experiment was a huge success because it was free, it was easy to use. Yes, they made you do a couple of transactions, which was those 5 transactions in order to be able to qualify to earn those rent payment points. But at the end of the day, it was a free to use card that had nothing but positive value, and you were able to earn points on your biggest expense of the month. And then Bilt got bigger and bigger. They accrued a bunch of new customers. They built their new loyalty program, which has been amazing overall for the most part. So they wanted to revamp it and get rid of Wells Fargo as their issuing bank and move over to another partner and issue the new Bilt 2.0 program. Now, to give you guys a high level overview, if you guys want to watch an in-depth overview, watch my first video of the Bilt 2.0 update. But there's 3 new cards that Bilt is launching with their Bilt 2.0 program, which you can apply for right now, and they'll be mailed out, I believe, by February 6th of 2026. You have the Bilt Blue card, which is their zero annual fee card. This one doesn't have much of anything, just allows you to use a portal and allows you to make your rent payments and earn points with those rent payments, but we'll touch on that in a second. Then you have the Bilt Obsidian card, which is the one that we're going to end up going for because the big perk for that one, it is a $95 annual fee card, but you were able to choose between 3x back on dining or 3x back on groceries. And from my personal use case, we have no card right now that can earn you 3x back on groceries that can then transfer over to Hyatt. So that's what we're going to be using that card for in order to accrue more Hyatt points moving forward. And then you have the most premium version, which is going to be the Bilt Palladium card. $495 annual fee. It does come with a 50k Bilt point sign-up bonus if you do spend a certain amount, I believe 4,000 over the first 3 months. And then it's a 2x catch-all card, very good competitor to the Capital One Venture X. So the problem here isn't the cards themselves, because each one of those cards is a decent product. They have their own perks and benefits, and I see a world where they fit nicely into people's kind of overall credit card workflow. The problem here is what they're doing to the rent payments and how you earn your points on the rent payments, which was Bilt's bread and butter. So one of the spend categories for each one of these Bilt cards, no matter if the $0 annual fee or the $4.95 annual fee, you're going to be earning 4% cash back in Bilt Cash. Now, Bilt Cash is basically an internal currency that Bilt is using to help you earn those rent payment points that you were earning before with Bilt 1.0 without the necessary need for that extra currency, which is Bilt Cash. So Bilt Reward Points and Bilt Cash are 2 completely separate things that are used separately inside of the Bilt's ecosystem. And again, if you guys want an in-depth explainer, go to the first video. I'm kind of just going over here what Bilt ruined with their new Bilt Cash program. But you do earn 4% cash back on any one of these cards on any single purchase on top of the multiplier. So for instance, if I am using the Bilt Obsidian card and I'm using it at a grocery store, I spent $100 at a grocery store, I'm going to get $4 Bilt Cash, and then I'm also going to be getting 300 Bilt points to be used inside the Bilt portal. So again, they're 2 different currencies, but you're earning them at the same time, but they're used for different things. So in that alone, you're already starting to think a little bit more than you had to before, because before the Bilt card, it was so easy, you didn't have to think about anything. You just used it to pay your rent, you earned your rent payment in points, and then you were good to go. So again, Bilt Cash is the internal currency they're using to help you get Bilt points on the back end when you are paying rent with the Bilt card moving forward. And now this form of earning points inside the Bilt system while paying rent is still going to be happening in the new Bilt 2.0 system. They just added another option, which again adds extra confusion to everything, and I think again made it worse at the end of the day. So let's use a real world example, and let's say your rent is $4,500 a month. In the old system, you would just pay using your Bilt card, you would pay the $4,500 a month, there would be no transaction fee, and you would earn 4,500 Bilt points and then transfer out to Hyatt, which those points is enough to get you a Category 1 stay for absolutely free. But now in order to get those points, there is a sliding scale, and you have to use Bilt Cash to unlock that sliding scale, which is so weird, and it's a weird gamification that just makes no real sense in my opinion. It's almost like you're paying something and then you're getting Dave & Buster's or Chuck E. Cheese tokens to then go to the gift shop to redeem those tokens for pennies on the dollar. It's such a weird system in my opinion. So to give you guys a high-level overview of what that means, for every $3 of Bilt cash, you can earn 100 Bilt points when you are paying your rent. So to unlock the full 4,500 points that I used to earn with the Bilt 1.0 program, I would need to have at least $135 of Bilt cash in my system every single month in order to get the maximized number of points with this new way of unlocking and redeeming for these Bilt points that can then be transferred. Because the Bilt points, in my opinion, are the valuable thing. The Bilt cash is what allows you to get the Bilt points via rent payments. So that means I need to spend at least $3,375 per month in order to get the $135 of Bilt cash needed to get my 4,500 points of Bilt points. Again, super confusing the more that I explain it. Now, I do understand that Bilt was getting people like myself who would spend very minimally on the card in order to unlock that rent payment, which was those 5 transactions, but you could spend 5 transactions of 1 cent transactions and still be good to go. So I think Bilt just wanted people to be using the card a lot more because that's how these companies make money. The more use and more money that funnels through your credit card, the more money the end issuer is making. But I do want to reiterate here that somebody did confirm with me in my last video, so shout out to you, is that no matter what, if you use your Bilt card, there will be 0 transaction fees. So let's say you only spend $1,000 on the card for that month, you earn $40 in Bilt cash, you can then put those Bilt cash towards earning more points. So for the rent that you paid for $4,500, it's still 0 fee, but you only earn 1,300 Bilt points at the end of the day. But if you have 0 Bilt cash, it'll still be a 0 transaction fee. So based on all this feedback, Bilt did come out with a new option on how to earn points while you're paying rent. Again, everything that I stated before will still be true, like the new Bilt cash system and redeeming that cash for points. That's all going to be one option. But now they're giving us another option, which again adds to the confusion, but at least it's more option for the consumer, and you can toggle these off and on or switch between them every single month to whatever your best outcome or best advantage is going to be. So Bilt is creating a new tiered system in order to earn points while you're paying rent, and this is how it works, right? So let's keep that same example of $4,500 for your rent per month. Again, the goal for Bilt is to get people to use their Bilt card for everyday use and get more money on that card, because that is how they make money at the end of the day. Give you a rolling balance, make you start paying interest on that balance and things like that. So this tiered approach is all based on spend and relative to how much your rent is. So if you spend up to a quarter of your rent on your Bilt card, then you'll earn 0.5 rent points per dollar spent when you do pay your rent. So again, for that $4,500 rent example, if I spend $1,125 on my Bilt card and then pay my rent with the Bilt card, I will earn half those points in rent. So I will earn, I believe, 2,250 points for paying my rent. What I like about this here is that at least you can kind of see, and it's a little less confusing in my opinion, especially if you have nice round numbers, but then the tier goes up, but then the tier starts to go up. So if I spend half that amount of money on the Bilt card, so $2,250, I then earn 0.75 points per dollar spent. And then if I want to earn the full amount, then I have to spend 3/4 of the amount of my rent, so $3,375, and then I will earn 1x back on my rent payment. And then there is a bonus tier. So if you spend more than your rent, so if I spend more than $4,500, I will earn 1.25x on my rent, meaning that I can get up to about 6,000 points on my rent, which is nice on paper. But again, listen to everything that I have to do and think about and say in order to understand what I'm talking about when earning these points, where before the value sell here was just how simple it was to earn points on your rent. So I think here at best, the average person using a Bilt card will be earning less Bilt points. But there's another way to look at it in terms of how Daniel Braun looks at it, which is my good buddy. He says that in this credit card world, we do have to adapt. And if you are somebody who is very responsible with their credit card, likes to game the system, is very good with these math problems and back-end equations, and yeah, you could probably maximize this and earn a good amount of points. Like, I'm still getting the Obsidian card. I'm still going to use it as my grocery card. I'm not going to be really focused in on exactly making sure that I spend all the money that I can, so I can use that to offset my rent payment and get my Bilt points and things like that. But I'll use it pretty passively and then see how it ends up turning out. So definitely get subscribed, but let me know in the comment down below what you think. This was kind of just a rant in terms of Bilt being a little bit predatory, Bilt confusing themselves in terms of what they want to do moving forward, because they had over a year to kind of figure this thing out with all these new partnerships and all these new loyalty programs, and they made it so confusing for 98% of their users, in my opinion, that I think they're going to lose a lot of customers. The Bilt loyalty program itself has stayed the same. Then you have the new Bilt 2.0 program, then the new augmented Bilt 2.0 program, which was changed literally 3 days later. That alone should be a big red flag. So if you aren't big into the credit card game, then my advice would be to avoid this card. But that'll do for this video, everybody. If you made it to the end, leave a little dolphin. If you guys want to watch more videos like this one, I do recommend watching my first Bilt video, because it does go in depth on what you need to do and what you need to know. And then we will be getting the card, so stay tuned for that. But until next time, I'm Fernando. Peace, everyone.